Good evening, BD Nation. I'm so excited to welcome all of you to this next episode of product training, specifically Valimenta ByDzyne with Dr. Emek Blair, one of the world's foremost and leading experts on liposomal technology, particularly cell gate technology and the awesome products that we are selling here at ByDzyne, glutathione and curcumin resveratrol. It's great to be with all of you. As you can see, the beautiful mountains in Salt Lake City in the back of me. Only a couple of months ago, they were covered by snow and by skiers and snowboarders from around the world. Well, now they're covered by hikers and mountain bikers and campers that are also coming from around the world. So it is a beautiful evening here in Salt Lake City, Utah. And I'm delighted to welcome all of you from around the world to this important episode where we're going to learn some great new information from Dr. Blair about cell gate technology and these incredible products that we are privileged to offer for sale. Now, Dr. Blair, one thing that I didn't tell you about before the call, so exciting for me that in the last 3 or 4 times that our chairwoman, Chanita Puranaputra, has been speaking to the members of BD Nation, she did something that you're going to love very much. She had a bottle of water and she had her bottle of glutathione. She put a couple of droppers in the bottle, shook it up, and had a great drink, showing everybody by example what it means to be a product of the product. So tonight, it is with great honor that I turn the time over to you so that you can give some scientific information and some great kernels of understanding about why it is so important what Chanita was doing. So without any further delay, Dr. Blair, I'll officially hand the mic to you.
Hey, thank you so much. And yeah, that background is absolutely beautiful. Unfortunately, my office doesn't look over at the mountains. It actually looks the exact opposite way. But what you're talking about being a product of the product is exactly what it's all about. And, you know, before this call, Dave, you and I, we were kind of talking about a couple of things. And I was kind of sharing with you that in my family, everybody goes gray incredibly early. So by the time most people in my family are in their mid 30s, early 30s, they are completely 100% white hair, with the exception of me. And one of the reasons is, this is like what I believe is happening is I take so much of my own glutathione product that it prevents the peroxidation at my scalp, right? So typically, as people age, their glutathione levels drop, and right at their scalp, their hair gets peroxidized, right? So it gets turned white, basically bleached as it's growing. So then you get whiter and whiter hair. Now, it's a sign of wisdom. Nobody's speaking poorly of it. However, this is like one of those natural ways you can really prevent or help prevent going gray if that's something you're into, right? So, sorry, Dave, it looked like you want to say something.
Oh, I was just going to make a comment. Maybe I need to just pour glutathione on my hair.
Well, it's better if you eat it. If you drink it, then you get your body and you get all those benefits.
I do every day.
Yeah, it's really, really important. And, so one of the really, really amazing parts and exciting things that are going on is really like our ongoing science. So in a minute, I'm going to get into my presentation and I'm going to kind of deviate from it. I'm going to have some of the slides there so people can look and see. But really, I want to talk about what's going on, how we're continuing to be at the leading edge of science, how, Valimenta and Cellgate are just really at the cutting edge. And a lot of people have been kind of asking me over the last, couple of months, what's the difference between Cellgate and any other liposomal product? What's the difference between Cellgate and these other delivery or people who claim to have some kind of delivery or they have liposomes or liposomal technology or anything like that? What makes us different, unique, better, etc.? And really, it bakes down and boils down to a couple of very, very simple things, right? So, for instance, this gentleman approached me about 3-4 weeks ago, and he said, "Hey, listen, I've got a Valimenta product in front of me. Of course, he's talking on the computer, doesn't have it, physically, but I'm also looking at this other company. Can you tell me what the difference in absorption of their vitamin C is? And I said, absolutely, no problem. Can you show me their absorption data and we'll compare the two? So he contacted the company, and lo and behold, they didn't have any data. They just put the word liposome on their product, and they said, oh, it's liposomal, it's the best, it's complete absorption, don't worry about it. And I said, well, look, that's not really how it works. You have to have the data behind it. You have to invest in yourself, in your company, in your products, right? Let me say it again. You have to invest in yourself, in your company, and in your products to prove that they work, right? It's not good enough just to say, oh, it's Cellgate or it's liposomal. But in the case of vitamin C with us, we partnered with Colorado State University, and we gave them our product. And we said, okay, here's the product, we're leaving now. And they on their own did testing for regular vitamin C, for placebo, for liposomal vitamin C, and even for an injection. And then they gave us the data, and we saw that, yeah, our liposomal vitamin C absorbs better than regular vitamin C. And then they also gave us some other data. They said that for oxidative buffering, that, our liposomal vitamin C and regular vitamin C are pretty similar. So, okay, but that's the truth. So what did we do? We took that data and we published it. We shared it with the world. The better absorption that we had, fantastic. We shared it with the world, saying that, in this particular case, in this particular instance with antioxidant capacity for a very specific situation, us and vitamin C were about the same for effect. But we shared it. The results are the results. It's science, and you just have to be honest about it and put it out there, And but at the same time, we showed that our absorption was much better, and there's numerous other benefits to that, right? So maybe one thing there isn't a benefit, but for 100 other things, there's a ton of benefit. There's lots and lots of benefit. Similarly, a few weeks back, another individual approached me and asked me, hey, what's the difference between your glutathione and this other company's glutathione? And I asked him the exact same question. I said, well, great. Why don't you call up the company, ask them for their data, and let's compare it. And we'll see, which one's better. Maybe the situation's the other one's better or something like that. Called up the company, and they told him a lot of stories, but they didn't have any hard data. And this company has been around for 12 years, right? This other company has been around for 12 years. And in 12 years that they've been selling their liposomal glutathione, they've generated no data for that product, okay? So, of course, I went and I shared our data showing, absorption, showing bilirubin and creatinine reduction, showed him the blood mercury reduction. I said, look, so here's my data. You heard the talk from the other guys. That's fine. But here is actual clinical data done on humans. Once again, we invested in ourselves. We invested in our company. We invested in our product. And a lot of people will look and say, these studies, these clinical studies, they just cost a lot of money. They're really, really difficult to do. They take a long time. And that's right. They are difficult to do. They cost a lot of money, and they take a lot of time. And they take a lot of my time personally, a lot of my energy, because somebody has to do them. And, of course, I'm the head of the company. I'm the head scientist. I'm a PhD chemist, so it's my job to do it. But I believe in the product. I believe in Valimenta. So I take all of that and I reinvest it, right? And it's important. It's important to show and to contribute to science so that that the story you're telling is backed by data, right? Because when you're sharing these products with your family, with your friends, heck, with a stranger, with a neighbor, with somebody who lives in a different country, a different state, it doesn't matter. You want to be able to tell them something that is backed up and that it works, right? You don't want to just tell stories and then when you're challenged, on the stories, you don't have anything you can point to. But here, we've taken time, we've partnered with universities to do these clinical studies. We've done some of the clinical studies in-house using third parties who executed them, and we continue to reinvest. And for instance, just today, we finished another paper that should be hopefully published in the next 8 weeks or so. So when that comes out, even before it comes out, I'll share it with you guys. everybody will be able to see it and, see that not only have we used to invest and we used to do science, we still do it today. And what's great about that is I'm trying to show you that we have 100% commitment to continuing pushing the science forward and continuing proving ourselves through hard data, right? Stories are good, but stories need to be backed by hard data, not, oh, I heard from somebody who said something about once they felt better. No, let's show in a controlled environment, in a clinical study with the university or independently done, that these products work and there's actual benefits. So you have that confidence, you have that strength to really share these and do it in a way that the products are safe and the products are useful and the products are really best in class, where nobody can do better than what we're doing. All right. So without further ado, I will get into the actual presentation and we will go from there. So I'm sure all of you guys, can everybody see this? Okay, nobody's written so far, so I'm assuming yes. So what we have here is the complete line with the flagship products being glutathione and curcumin with resveratrol. And I'd really like to spend a little bit of time talking about these two specifically to start off with, just because they're so important. They're the reason I still have brown hair. And they just help you in so many facets of your life between the glutathione and the curcumin and the resveratrol. But it's not just those ingredients, it's really about the delivery. It's about delivering a solution for your body, not just about delivering, a product, right? We want to give people a solution, something that's useful to them, something that's helpful to them. And that's why we chose the curcumin with resveratrol and the glutathione as our flagship products, right? So once again, let's just go over the very, very simple basics. What's curcumin? I know that pretty much everybody has had yellow curry before, right? Or as we just call it, curry. But that really healthy part of the yellow curry, that very, very bright yellow and orange, that's curcumin, right? And it comes from a root called turmeric. It's been in South Asia and Asia for, I think, well over 5,000-6,000 years that it's documented that people have revered this root and have known how amazing and potent it is, and of course, have been using it. However, because it didn't have the right delivery system, only a tiny, tiny fraction of it went into their bodies. And even with that being the case, we still revered it, and for thousands of years we revered it because even with a tiny amount in your body, you got an amazing benefit. So now with our delivery system on top of it, the benefit is expanded dramatically, right? And we use natural curcumin and we make sure that it has all 3 curcuminoids in it, right? The other ingredient in that product is resveratrol. And resveratrol is really, really well known in the world for providing youthfulness. And, some people do it for vanity, other people do it for health. It's a really potent part of your antioxidant system. It comes from grapes, and a lot of people drink red wine to get resveratrol. However, the problem is you would have to get absolutely drunk every single night to get enough resveratrol for it to be meaningful, right? And we know that consuming 2-3 bottles of wine every night is not a healthy way to go through every single day. You're gonna wake up with a terrible hangover. It's gonna be very, very negative for your body. So what we did is we provided this ingredient and had it delivered in our Celligate delivery system so that you can get the full benefit of it, okay? And then of course, glutathione. And glutathione is incredibly important for you, and I just can't get into it. So my PhD is largely based on liver enzymes, okay? And the reason I'm telling you about this is because these liver enzymes, they are incredibly, incredibly important. Detoxification, they help you with sugar metabolism, they help you with everything. However, without glutathione, your liver doesn't work. Your liver enzymes don't work. If you want to see, without glutathione, you can't see, right? Same thing with curcumin. Curcumin really helps protect your eyes. To make energy, to breathe, your lungs use an incredible amount of glutathione. Your brain uses an incredible amount of glutathione. So this is really, really important. Glutathione is in every single cell of your body, except for your bones. And without it, almost nothing can happen. Okay, basically that's called death. And when you're born, you have very high amounts of glutathione. And as you age, it goes down and down and down and down, right? So supplementing with glutathione is incredibly important. And that's why people promote eating a lot of leafy green vegetables and broccoli and things like that, not because the glutathione absorbs from those vegetables, because they give you things that are precursors to glutathione, right? And that's why leafy greens are so important in your diet. But anyway, so this ingredient is incredibly important. It's basically the ingredient of life. Vitamin C doesn't work without glutathione. Vitamin D doesn't work without glutathione. Vitamin E doesn't work without glutathione. And I think everybody gets the idea. I don't really have to, literally list every single thing in your body that won't work. It's everything won't work without glutathione. So glutathione is naturally sulfuric. However, our product, we've been able to figure out how to formulate it so it still tastes pretty pleasant. I put it in my water every single day. I drink a ton of this stuff. It's good for athleticism. It's good for just living, right? And helps protect you from air pollution, water pollution, pesticides, herbicides, all that kind of stuff that exists in our environment. And the great thing about glutathione is it'll keep on circulating until it does its job. So you take it once and you get multiple beneficial effects from it. So what I'm showing you here is actually quite groundbreaking. This is really graph down here at the bottom. So this is a graph of vitamin C showing how our vitamin C absorbs better than regular vitamin C. Okay, and I just include that there as a comparison. This here is glutathione, regular powdered glutathione, and somebody took it and absolutely nothing happened to their glutathione. As the day went on, their glutathione levels went down a little bit, which is very typical. Usually you'll build up glutathione levels as you sleep. But with our product, look at this. Within about 2.5 hours, there's a 22% increase in your blood glutathione. All right. So if you look at research, right? So you look at other products out there and somebody says, hey, how does your glutathione compare to anybody else's glutathione? Okay. What makes Valimenta glutathione better than anything else that's out there? The answer is simple, is that we've shown it can absorb within a couple of hours. If you look at everybody else's research, it may take 6 months. So 2 hours versus 6 months. Okay, that's an incredible difference. So if you need glutathione, this is a good way of doing it and getting it right then and there. And it's so incredibly important, not only for being able to say, like, look, if you take this product, it will have a beneficial effect, but also it'll have a beneficial effect pretty quickly, right? If you have to take glutathione and you get no benefits for 6 months and the benefits are marginal, that's not really all that useful. So once again, when that individual asked me, how does ours compare to anything else, is we've got the data showing that our product does what we say that it does. The other thing is that the glutathione does, and we kind of touched on this already, is bilirubin, which is indicative of your liver health, creatinine, which is indicative of your kidney health, and detoxification, which we measured by blood mercury levels. And what you can see here is that everybody had better liver function. Less means your body's detoxifying, okay? Same thing with creatinine, right? With this middle graph right here. Less is better. That means your body is detoxifying. And this is in just a month. What the other thing that we looked at was blood mercury. And you could see within 1 week, blood mercury already went down. This is absolutely phenomenal, right? This was unexpected. We did this just in case. We just wanted to know what would happen. And, we decided, it was worth investing a little bit of money and seeing if we could see a difference in a week. Because if you go into the literature and you search all the research done at universities and hospitals and other companies, etc., blood mercury, nothing happens for months at a time. And to get even a tiny little reduction, you're talking about 10 to 20 weeks. We did it in 1 week. right? So that shows that our product actually does what it's supposed to. It increases your body's levels of glutathione. It supplements glutathione, right? So that's one of the reasons we made this one of the flagship products here, because it's going to help your body detoxify. It's going to help your body work. It's going to help your body make energy. It's going to protect your eyes. It's going to help protect your lungs. It's really going to help absolutely everything about your world, right? This is the product that I give it to my children. My wife takes it, my parent-in-laws, my parents, my brother, my sister, my nieces, my cousins, everybody. If I go over to somebody's house, I'm bringing them at least one bottle of this. And hopefully we can get them to take even more, as time goes on. But for housewarming gifts, like literally the other day, my wife's cousin bought a new house. And we went over there, we brought him a bottle of glutathione because, new house, new health, new everything, just good luck all around. The other really amazing product is the Curcumin with Resveratrol. And just like the glutathione, this can positively impact absolutely every part of your life. And Curcumin, especially for me, I can definitely feel it if I haven't taken it, this Curcumin with Resveratrol in my knees. If I go jogging or I go play a game of basketball and I haven't taken this, my knees will hurt and I will have to sit down much faster than before. So this product really helps me with mobility, and it really helps, keep that spring in your step, keep you mobilized. When I wake up in the morning, as long as I take this product, I can jump out of bed. Every once in a while, even I say, you know what, I'm going to not take this product for a couple of weeks. And then I immediately regret it, because when I step out of bed, my legs are a little stiff, my ankles are stiff, my knees are stiff. And then I kind of ask myself, why would I stop taking it? It's so good for you. It helps your metabolism. It also helps with your metabolic channels, is what we're finding out. And, like I said, we're about to publish a paper on a slightly different product, but this product performed exactly the same, right? And this is really the data here, where the Curcumin really helped with augmenting metabolism and how people were, or in this case, how mice were metabolizing fats. So the Curcumin and with the Resveratrol, they're also known to help your antioxidant system, right? And that's a system that helps protect your lungs when you're breathing, helps protect you against air pollution. As you're detoxifying and as you're making energy in your body, this system, this antioxidant system, is in your body to really help protect your muscles and the rest of yourself, other than the places where that's actually making the energy, your mitochondria. So the classic antioxidant is vitamin C. And I already previously showed you how well our vitamin C absorbs as opposed to regular vitamin C. So you get that better absorption. But then if you take it with glutathione, the glutathione can then activate the vitamin C multiple times. And then you can get really that nice antioxidant protection, right? And it's really good for your heart, your blood vessels. It helps make collagen. So it helps keep your cheeks plump, and, keeps your skin elastic. And something that a lot of people are talking about now, it's really, really important for your immune function, right? So when you combine vitamin C with glutathione and the Curcumin with Resveratrol, it really boosts up your immune system, and it gives it all of the fuel that it needs to help protect your body, which is exactly what your immune system is supposed to do. CoQ10 is another classic, right? And the problem with CoQ10 is it's absorbed incredibly poorly, right? So it tends to crystallize, and because it's crystalline, your body can't use it for anything. But CoQ10 is how you make your body's energy, right? You take glutathione plus CoQ10 and you have energy, right? And that's how your cells live, and that's how your cells generate energy, so that you can breathe, so you can run, so you can walk, so you can just live, right? This is that cellular energy that every part of your body really, really needs. And it's so incredibly important for you. So with this, we've combined CoQ10 with the cell gate delivery system. And now you can get all of those benefits. So for those people who are vegetarian, this product is incredibly important because a lot of the CoQ10 we get is actually from eating meat. So if you're not eating meat, CoQ10 needs to be supplemented. You've got to get it in there along with a variety of other things. So magnesium is another one of those incredibly integral parts of your body. So right now, a lot of people are talking about magnesium, not even necessarily because it's an amazing for blood sugar metabolism or it's amazing for muscle function, which it is, but they're talking about it as a calming factor. All right, it's a calming factor for your stress levels. So right now, as a lot of people are very stressed and they're having a lot of problems, magnesium really helps out. Now, what's amazing about our magnesium is that typically if you take magnesium, you're going to have to go to the bathroom pretty quick because magnesium really irritates your stomach. However, with our magnesium, because it's in that liposomal bubble, all right, it's inside of that liposomal bubble, it's able to be absorbed and used. All right, so rather than it going through you, it's absorbed into your body and it can go and help your heart and your blood vessels and your nerves and your brain function and your muscle function and help with your blood sugar metabolism and help with your fat metabolism and, you know, and help absorb calcium into your bones, right? Which is such an important part of magnesium. A lot of people take calcium and they take more calcium, but their bones still are brittle and weak. The magnesium helps your body assimilate calcium into the bones, and then you can have really, really strong structure there, right? So sometimes you can take calcium, but your body can't use it because it doesn't have magnesium, but you also need the vitamin D3. So this is another product that we've offered. It's just pure curcumin for those people who really want a whole lot of curcumin as an antioxidant. To help regulate your inflammatory response. It's amazing for your liver, which we already talked about, and your general health and immune system. And it really helps support your prostate health. So some people really wanted to help really increase their doses of curcumin, and this is a phenomenal way of doing it. So the vitamin D3 with K2. So we talked about how magnesium helps with calcium, but D3 with K2 also helps absorb calcium into the bones. Not absorb calcium into your body. Your body can absorb calcium into the blood, no problem. What your body has a difficult time doing is taking that calcium and turning it into parts of your bones and your skeletal structure, right? So if you take the magnesium and this D3 with K2, it's really gonna supercharge that and help build and maintain incredibly strong bones. And of course, vitamin D3 right now, everybody is using a ton of it because it supports your immune function and helps normalize blood sugar. So that's incredibly, incredibly important right now is we have to give our immune system as many tools, as much fuel, as many building blocks as humanly possible so that your body can have everything it needs to protect itself, right? Here's another incredibly important ingredient, which is B12. So B12 is another one of those things that, you know, people always think about it as energy, but really it's another ingredient that's just required for life. It's required for your whole body. And a lot of people, especially vegetarians, just can't get enough of B12. I mean, it's difficult enough to get B12 if you're eating steaks every day and eating a ton of leafy greens and eating absolutely everything you're supposed to. But unfortunately, the B12 can't get absorbed into your body. In order for B12 to naturally be absorbed in your body, you need another component. And as you age, that other component that helps B12 absorb goes down and down and down and down. That's just part of natural aging. So with a liposomal B12, you can take a dose or two a day, and I guarantee it, your B12 levels will go up. We actually did a clinical study and we showed how our Cellgate B12 is significantly better, not only from regular B12, but from other liposomal products on the market. So other people will claim that they have liposomal B12 and it works amazingly, but there's no data for it. right? They're just saying a story because that's what's going to sell product. So our B12 is proven. It works well. I didn't put up another chart because I don't know how many charts I could put with, ours high and everybody else is low, and, the clinical studies and how many people took it. But, we have this data for so many of these ingredients, from, like I said, because we've invested in proving that our vitamin C works. We've invested in proving that our curcumin works. We've invested that our B12 works. We've invested in showing that our glutathione works. And that way, when we're making statements, they're backed by data. It's not just a story. And this B12 is no exception for that. And, B12, it's just so important, once again, for your blood and cardiovascular system, for your brain, for your mood, to make energy, just to be able to think. A lot of people, especially now, are talking about how they have a lot of brain fog, right? Especially people after getting COVID, they go, and a long-lasting side effect is this brain fog. So a lot of times things like B12 and other antioxidants can help kind of move that forward and kind of help clear up some of that brain fog that people are experiencing. And then here's another incredibly important product, which is for people who aren't getting enough sleep. And the reality is, this product isn't really about sleep. Sleep is one of the things that people think they want, but it's not really the solution they're looking for. People want to wake up rested. People want to wake up with energy, and people want to wake up ready for the day. All right. And that's what this product really provides. So it has some ingredients in it that help calm you and help slow down your mind, right? Because a lot of people, they get into bed and their whole day is just moving over and over and over through their mind. A conversation at work, a conversation with a family member, something they said to their children, something they said to their parents, and your brain just goes and goes and goes, and you just can't stop it. So GABA is really, really important to help relax your mind and start making it quieter, right? Quieting your mind, kind of getting into that meditation phase so you can really, really go to sleep. The melatonin tells your brain, hey, it's time to go to sleep. Enough, the day is over. And then a little bit of glutathione that helps promote relaxation, helps recycle some of these other ingredients. And, a calm mind is a calm body. But it's also the other way around. A lot of people, when they try to go to sleep and they have anxiety, that's because they have a busy liver, right? And the reason their liver is busy is because it's trying to detoxify. And when you're trying to detoxify, your brain starts going and it starts putting you kind of in a little bit of a panic. So a lot of people, when they go to sleep and they kind of feel that uneasy panicking, sometimes that's because your body's got a lot of toxic load that's trying to get rid of. And so I always tell people, liposomal sleep is fantastic, but also make sure that your body is detoxified, and that curcumin and that glutathione is really, really going to help with that, right? For those people who drink, I think everybody knows that when you drink, you don't get good sleep because your body's a little bit toxic, right? Your body's trying to get rid of all that alcohol and push it out of your body. And because of that, you wake up, you feel very uneasy, you feel stressed out. That's because, especially the day after. So that's just a simple example of how a busy liver is a busy, not in a good way, but is a busy mind. So for those of you that this product doesn't calm their mind and doesn't quite put you to sleep immediately, try using the glutathione to help detoxify. And I think you'll find the combination of those two will really help relax and calm your body so that you can get what you want. The solution you're looking for is to feel healthy and rested. All right, that's the solution that you're looking for. And the Valimenta sleep is incredibly, incredibly useful for that. But it's also at the same time gentle enough where you're not going to wake up in the morning feeling groggy. That's because the cell gate delivery system gets that melatonin, the GABA into your blood quickly. Your body uses it. So when you wake up, it's completely gone and you're ready for a new day. So with that, I think I saw a few people want to do Q&A. And I'll be happy to answer any other questions that people bring up.
Dr. Blair, thank you so much. Due to the fact that I have to be on my phone for this call, maybe you could look down on your laptop at the chat area, and you could just go ahead and address the questions that you see down there.
Sure.
Do you see people that have submitted questions?
I see one right now, but I've seen other people raise their hands and things like that over the call. So let me start off with what is the glutathione and the curcumin good for your immune system, and does it help your body? I don't want to make any medical claims, but does it help your body, your immune system fight off what it needs to fight off, which is, could be anything out there, right? And the simple answer is yes. Glutathione is critical to your white blood cells, to your immune system, to also, and especially with curcumin, is to regulate your body's immune response. So a problem that a lot of people have is their immune response is on all the time. And if there's nothing to fight, your body will fight itself. So what's really, really amazing is curcumin and glutathione, especially together, help regulate your body's immune response so that it's only on when there's something to fight, right? So a lot of people, especially people who eat a lot of omega-6s, they get that high inflammatory response, and their immune system is basically just on all the time. So when the immune system is needed, it's already fatigued, it's already tired, right? So that's where the curcumin and the glutathione are incredibly, incredibly important.
Go ahead.
No, please.
No, I was just going to add something else, but if there's another question, please continue.
Great, yeah. So the other question, the next question that I have here is, can we take all at the same time? And the answer to that is absolutely yes. And in fact, these products work best when they're all taken at the same time, right? So we talked about how glutathione makes vitamin D work and vitamin K work and vitamin C work. So if you have a high amount of glutathione and you have vitamin C in there and you're taking all of these products, they all help support each other, right? So they help with antioxidant capacity, they help with inflammatory response, and they help with absolutely everything else. Magnesium with vitamin D and K2 all help calcium absorb, right? So they work together to make your bones stronger by incorporating more calcium into your bones, all right? The sleep product works best if your body's detoxified, but that's everybody. Everybody goes to sleep better once their body is detoxified. So if you take plenty of the glutathione, your body's detoxified, now that sleep product is going to work incredibly well, right? The sleep product is going to work well anyway, but it's just going to give you an edge and make it even stronger for you, okay? So these products were designed that you can take one or two or take all of them if that's what you need. And, for instance, for me, if I'm training really, really hard and I'm trying to really reach a goal, I'll up my doses. So I'll be taking a lot more curcumin, a lot more glutathione, and a lot more vitamin D, because I know that when I'm working out and I'm trying to reach a certain milestone, that I'm burning all of those ingredients in my body to help protect my muscles, to help give me energy, to help fuel my body. So there is a question. Fortunately, I am not able to read. I believe it's Thai. So it's actually unfortunate. After living in Thailand for 5 years, I haven't lived there for a long time. I forgot how to speak Thai. I was never able to read it, of course. But if somebody could help translate, I would appreciate it. So another question is that
it looks like we have a translation right there for that question.
Oh, perfect. Oh, there we go. Great. Okay. So it says, do you suggest for children who have low immune system, is the question from Thailand. And the answer is yes. Okay. Giving children this kind of product is going to help supplement their diet. Now, of course, always work with your child's doctor. That's always going to be the best, especially if they have a low immune system. Their doctor's really going to be able to help you out. But during wintertime, et cetera, I give my children who are quite young, a little bit of the vitamin D. You want to bring the dose down, of course, because they're much smaller. So I give them the vitamin D. I give them the curcumin with resveratrol almost every day. It's actually kind of funny when I bring it out of the refrigerator, they now think it's candy and they love it and they run to me, and most of the time they demand more, but of course, I want to give them the right dose. So I only give them one. But the answer is yes. And you just always want to take into account that children are smaller and they weigh less. So usually what I recommend is to whatever the dose is per weight, to go to a third, right? Because children also are developing, and they're different from adults. Children aren't small adults. So we want to give them a little bit, see how they respond. Then you could bring the dose up if you want to. But at least a third of a dose is typically what I recommend. Susan asks that she takes the 6 Valimenta product, all infused into a glass of water, and is it better to drink it quickly, or is it best to drink it slowly? And the answer is, it's really up to you. What I recommend is, if you put it diluted in water, drink it within about half an hour. And the reason is because a lot of times people leave it out. It'll be in sunlight and things like that. It starts warming up, cooling down. So I typically recommend people drink it in about 30 minutes, and that'll be good. That's actually how I drink it every morning. I take my curcumin with resveratrol in a big glass of water. I mix it in, and to me, it tastes like orange juice. And it's just a way to make sure that I'm drinking enough water and taking my curcumin simultaneously. Okay. There's a couple questions here, and
Dr. Vera, it might be a reconfirmation of what you just said. But when we're talking about the bioavailability, is it better to just take the glutathione straight from the bottle and squeeze it straight into your mouth, or does it really matter?
So straight out of the bottle for glutathione is what I do a few times a day. Let me say one thing. There's only one issue with that. So glutathione, I go through a bottle every 3 to 4 days. I take a lot of it, okay? And there's certain reasons why I do that. But anyway, the only concern you have with taking it directly into your body is that if it touches your mouth or touches your tongue and some of that goes back in the bottle and you let it sit around for a few months, it's maybe not the best idea, right? So, I do that pretty regularly, but I'd recommend to put it on a spoon or put it into water or something like that, unless you're like me and you take it a lot and you switch bottles over, weekly or so.
Oh, that's a very good suggestion. So simply take the dropper, squeeze it into a spoon, and then you don't have any risk of contaminating the rest of the glutathione in the bottle.
Yeah. And it's one of those things, like, it's 99% of the time it's going to be fine. But, every once in a while, somebody's going to, have something in their mouth, and, a piece of sandwich is going to go back in the bottle, right? That stuff like that happens, believe it or not. So there's another question here is, can people who have thyroid, I'm assuming, issues use this product, is what I'm assuming the question. And the simple answer is actually yes. So things like Hashimoto's, which is probably the most common thyroid issue in the world, has a lot to do, that's an autoimmune issue. So your body basically is attacking your thyroid. And remember earlier I was talking about how people's immune systems are constantly on, and if you don't turn them off, and they don't have anything to attack, they'll attack your body. So Hashimoto's is a classic case of that, where it's an autoimmune issue, and taking things like curcumin and glutathione are incredibly helpful to regulate your immune response, okay? And, you know, in that case, well, I mean, that's why I take a lot of glutathione. I have a thyroid issue, and it's hereditary, and that's how I control it, with an incredibly large amount of glutathione and curcumin. And in my specific case, it's worked really well. I don't, you know, I don't recommend anybody do this without doctor's advice or anything, but I've stopped taking thyroid medication about 3 years ago. But once again, I'm one specific example, and you know, everybody should speak to their doctor first. Okay, so we have another question here about starting your day with a warm glass of water with lemon and honey. And is it okay to put the Valimenta products into this lemon water? And it depends. How hot is this lemon water? So one of the things about liposomes is that when you put them in a glass of water and it disperses, there's this thing that it's called micelle concentration. So you imagine all of them like to be together, and it helps them stay together. And diluting isn't a problem, but diluting and heating simultaneously is going to cause some issues. So if you heated the product and you took it as is, not a big deal. If you diluted the product at room temperature or cool, not a big deal. If you heated it and diluted it into a big glass of water, I don't recommend that. So the simple answer is I wouldn't do it. You should avoid that. But if you want to start your day with a room temperature or cool glass of water with the products in it, that works very, very well. It says, which is best for kids that are hyperactive? Well, that's a great question. You know, these products are going to help with nutrition. It's going to help with detoxification. It's going to help complete a diet. I would talk to the child's doctor specifically to try and figure that out. But per se, you know, these products really aren't designed for hyperactivity or for children hyperactivity specifically. Okay, so one of the questions here is that I heard that omega-3 is very important to our brain, and now I don't see product to concern with omega-3s. So omega-3s are an incredibly complicated story. Now, here's what we definitively know about omega-3s, that omega-3s are important to balance out some of the other omegas in your body, specifically omega-6s. And they're incredibly important for children's developing brains, okay? However, I believe omega-3s are really, really good for you. However, there's also some research contradicting that, and the research is legitimate. However, omega-3s also absorb really well into your body. So it's unnecessary to have liposomal omega-3 because it would be a waste of money. Basically, we would take omega-3 and process it into liposome, and rather than absorbing 90%, it absorbed 94%, right? And that's not really a value for the person who's taking it. And it wouldn't really be fair for us to process into liposome and then charge you for it, right? Because one of the important things that Valimenta prides itself, that we as a community, as a partnership pride ourselves on, is bringing value to the people who take these products. So what we don't want to do is just making something really, really expensive and, tell a story about it. But then at the end of the day, you know, they could go get a much less expensive product out there that would work, frankly, almost as well. It would work 95% as well for a third of the price, right? So that wouldn't really be fair for us to do. Okay, there's another one. I think that's Spanish, not Portuguese. Okay, so another question is, can you mix it with other types of drinks, right? So you can mix these products with juices. You can mix these products with, a shake. So a lot of times if I feel like it, I feel like adding a little color to, you know, my protein smoothie that I have every blue moon. I'll put it in there, not a problem at all. What I don't recommend is putting it into hot tea or hot coffee or something like that. But you can really mix this in with just about anything, you know, that you really, really like. You know, I went through a phase where I drank all of my glutathione with pomegranate juice. You know, that was a phase I went through for a year or two. Now I just drink it directly out of the bottle. Okay. So another question is about Valimenta products helping with diabetes. So, you know, each person is unique and they really need to discuss this with their doctors. And that's really the most important thing, is to, you know, have that conversation. However, a lot of products, a lot of the vitamins, they really, really help with regulating blood sugar metabolism, things like that. And we do have clinical studies on some other products that you know, when you normalize the body, good things happen. So, you know, typically with diabetes, you know, you want to control your weight. You want to make sure that you don't have a whole lot of fat in your midsection, and that you're active, right? Because lack of activity is really one of the things that really harms people who have diabetes. Okay, well, I think that's all the questions we have at this time. And as always, you know, if you guys have any other questions you think about later, you know, write into ByDzyne team, and they'll, you know, help bring the questions to me, or they may already have the answers, and, you know, we'll post them as needed so that people can have all the information they need. But I hope from our conversation here today, what you guys have taken is that we're not just offering a product, we're offering a solution that's backed by a lot of investment, you know. And, you know, for some people, investment is one of those things. It could be time, it could be energy, it could be money. For us, it's all three. We've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars at this point, on clinical studies and the amount of energy and time that we put into it, because we believe in our product. And then when we go out there and tell you the story, and you guys go out there and tell the story to your families and friends and neighbors, we want you to know that it's backed by science, it's backed by data, that you can be confident and assured that you can share these products with everybody that you know, and it's going to have a positive outcome. So,
well,
right.
Dr. Blair, I cannot and we cannot thank you enough for being with us this hour. I enjoy it every single time that you're with us, but for some reason, today seemed to me to be extra powerful, extra eloquent, and so thank you so much for sharing so much great information with us, especially with that focus on the two flagship products, glutathione as well as Curcumin Resveratrol. It's reminding me a gazillion years ago, in the Philippines, we had an outstanding product at that time called liquid chlorophyll, and we had a marketing campaign that went like this: liquid chlorophyll in every home. Well, I'm thinking of wanting to reprise a campaign like that and say Valimenta in every home. So you've given us so much great information, and I'm really grateful for the preparation and the time that you have spent with us regarding cell-gate technology and these incredibly important products. So thank you so much for being with us again tonight.
Hey, thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate it.